what's up? I'm Joel Madden, and this is Artist Friendly. On this episode, I'll be talking to singer-songwriter, lead guitarist, lead singer, and frontwoman of the band Kittie, Morgan Lander. Let's go.
That's my kind. I don't want no bad times. I don't want to have bad.
Kittie's back.
Big statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It is. I mean, I guess it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I mean, we're really excited. Things are happening. They're happening organically, and it feels a little weird, but I'm okay with it.
Why does it feel weird?
Well, I mean, we took such a long break.
Yeah.
It's a long time to be away, a long time to be like normal.
Yeah.
You know, like completely, I mean, still making music and still working with musicians and things like that, but not actually being like a working musician.
Out there on the grind, doing that thing.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean because I feel like similar.
Yeah.
I feel like I think it was like 2014 or something. So it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
We were like done.
Yeah.
Not as a band. We all love each other. But like, I think you go out there on that grind and it's not, there's so much good things about it. There's so much experience you have. You could call bad, you could call it's just a life experience. But if you beat the horse, I feel like we were just beating the horse towards the end there of that cycle of like 12 years or whatever, however long we were just grinding.
Yeah.
I felt like we had just whittled our souls down a little bit without knowing it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that's sort of where we were at as well. Like the last few years that we were touring, things kind of kept getting more and more diminished. We had switched labels a few years prior, and we put out what I think are two of some of our best albums. But we were touring in a van,
which is hard.
Yeah, the guarantees were getting smaller and smaller. The crowds were getting smaller and smaller, and that can also weigh heavily on your psyche.
Yeah.
Having to grind it out like that night after night and feeling like you have to do it rather than like you want to do it.
Yep.
And similar situation for us as well. Like we are all great friends. We were still at that time. There was no like interpersonal drama or anything. It was just a case of like just being tired and feeling
tired.
The weight of almost like defeat. From putting in so much and like sort of receiving so little. And for us, it wasn't really like a conscious thing. It just like kind of just drifted, just kind of fell through our fingers. Like we didn't sit down one day and we're like, let's break up the band, or like there was no announcement or anything. It was just kind of like, we all just started to do our own things and find our own way. And it sort of just naturally kind of drifted.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
The thing that I think about when you say, let's say the albums don't perform maybe like we hope they would, the shows aren't selling like the other ones were. To us, we take that as we're failing.
Yeah.
No one is there actually telling us the reality of the landscape we're trying to build in.
Right, of course.
Is that in the time, because I'm guessing this is around 2011 for you, 2012.
Yep.
So that's when streaming switched over.
Yeah.
We all felt it. We were in the same. It was the same time for us. There was a hole. Everything dropped off a cliff, and suddenly we kind of almost like woke up in a new world where bands don't actually have. It was like they were important for a decade. There was a real vibrant place to go and be a band, and then suddenly it was like from 2010 or 11 to 2015, there was just like this void.
Yeah.
Where no one did well, actually. Very few did well.
Yeah. It was that weird transition period.
It was weird, and no one really... You heard people say, like, it's over, it's done. That was the experience we had, too. It was a weird time. It was like, I love my band, and it's not that I need everyone to love it, but it's not over. But I feel like I internalized it as a failure versus a reality of the time.
Yeah.
And now we come to this era, which is almost 10, 11, 12 years later, but really a decade later. It feels like there's this resurgence of rock music, and as far as the interest of like the most important fan to me is the new music fan.
Yeah.
Someone discovering music and going, what do I like? Who am I? What kinds of things do I like? Now it's a different day. Kids and fans and all music fans coming into music. There's no lines. There's no real genres. It's just like, I like what I like.
Yeah.
Most people, some people would call themselves rock fans. Maybe some people would say they're hip hop fans, but most people will scroll through Instagram and listen to any song.
Yeah.
And if we think it's good,
If there's a cool dance to
we'll
it.
bop our head to it and we'll be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I don't think we were equipped or experienced enough to understand the global change that was happening and see it for what it was.
Yeah, for sure. That makes
Versus
sense.
we internalize it as artists and we go like, I failed. It was all for nothing.
Yeah, well, it certainly feels like a failure, when
Yeah.
you're holding holding a mirror up to yourself, and it's like, did I, what about what I have been doing, the music that we've been making, the places that we've been playing is causing this to happen.
Right.
And it's not. You're right. I've never thought of that before.
It actually wasn't you.
It was a transition period just in the industry. Oh my God. I feel like I'm in therapy right now. This is so amazing. Thank you.
But this is my therapy.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
But no, that's important if you don't think about it.
Yeah.
It's not that everyone lost interest. It's that the distribution system changed almost overnight. What you're telling me is so funny because so many bands from, the late 90s to 2012 had the same experience. And I don't think any of us processed like what was happening at the time.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that is really interesting. Like I can't say that I've ever had a conversation with someone on that level to like explore that and kind of discover that. But like, I can only speak from my own personal journey. Right. And, it was like, we came off the road in 2012 and that was it. We just sort of drifted apart. And yeah, I guess there was a lot of transition happening, personally. And for me, having normalcy, trying it out, getting a real job. Like I didn't even graduate high school, we left school to start touring with Kittie. And so I came home with like no real world experience. And for me, that has been a journey as well, sort of discovering who I am outside of the band.
Yeah, maybe
that
more
was my
important.
therapy, I guess. And just sort of like learning that, the things that I do outside of music also have value, that like, I know I'm an intelligent person, and my working on relationships as well is something that I think is a very difficult thing for people in working bands to do. Like when you're out on the road all the time, having, relationships are hard in general. And then having to sort of deal with that, being away all the time and all the things that kind of come with that. So, working on relationships also was a big part of that self-discovery thing. And I really am grateful for that time. And like, looking back in 2012, like in that moment, I was thinking like, well, this is like the end. What am I going to do? Right.
Yeah.
But it's not the end. And every day you put your foot forward in front of the other and you figure it the fuck out. And sometimes it's trial and error. But I'm grateful for that experience, having.
It's dope.
Yeah, it is, right? Like just figuring out like what life is really all about. It's not about, what people are saying or, fans and the adulation and all that stuff. It's just like life is just like being with the people that you love. Life is just like eating chips and farting on the couch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's literally it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not as exciting as what, people in bands and musicians sort of make it out to be, or the movies sort of present it as.
We sell a fantasy.
We do. Yeah, absolutely.
It's wonderful to think about a fantasy. I'd love to just live in a fantasy. That'd be great. But then no one would like me, and I wouldn't have any real relationships, and I wouldn't have a life I get up and live inside of every day where I can actually smell or taste or see or feel anything. And that is, in my mind, a terrible way to live. And some people live that way. I've experienced some people I've come across that had massive amounts of success, but live in a complete fantasy.
Yeah, they're trapped in that illusion that has been built by the music industry, and that's sort of where they live. That's not real.
It's not, and it's dangerous, and I think it's sad. I have a refusal to judge anyone, so I don't make a final judgment on the people that I come in contact like that, but I do form an opinion, I think, where I see something and I go, I think you're really out of touch with real life, and there's something about real life, which is why I tell people that are listening or people that you come in contact with that are fans of your band or of music, and they think the fantasy is real. I try to tell them it's not, and I try to tell them how special their life is, and just as exciting it can be to have an experience that you might write off as not important because it's you. So I think a lot of us do that.
Yeah.
It's not important because it's me. A night with really good friends, or a good dinner somewhere that you really wanted to eat, or a trip to somewhere that you really wanted to go, should feel exciting and should feel worthwhile.
Absolutely.
Worthwhile.
That's life,
but it is this fantasy that we get sold because there's something exciting about that. It's like Disneyland. I want to go to Disneyland. But if you were at Disneyland for a week, you'd want to leave.
Oh, you'd be so fucking tired. Oh my
God.
God.
You'd be like, okay. Somewhere in the middle, we can take the experience we had in our younger, more formative artistic years and pick out the things that we actually do find value in and that we appreciate. Because I have a theory that we're the best version of us as a band than we've ever been. We're better live. We're better at everything because of our age.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think I know you as well started off very young. Had fame very early on. As young people, and like your brain isn't even formed yet. You know what I mean?
It froze me at a certain age, and I was really immature until probably 30. I was probably like operating on a very limited development. It does that to you. If you at 21 or something, you get everything, and you're also coming in injured. You're coming in as an injured kind of person.
Yeah, well, not even as a whole person, you know, like for us, we were 15, 16, 17 years old, you know, when Spit first came out and everything just went bananas. Like my sister, Mercedes, was in her first year of high school.
It's crazy. When
it was like, all right, time to test out if this is the dream or not, you know? I'm really grateful that my parents even allowed us to do that.
Yeah, Billy was left on the road, didn't go to his senior year of high school.
Yeah.
He was just on the road with us. And it was like, I think about it, it's crazy for him. Like, how did you, I was out of high school. I was a year or two out of high school, but it was crazy. It was, you're just.
How did we make it? I'm baffled every day at the resilience, I think, that some of us have. Like, I know the industry is so tough. There's a lot of predators out there. There's a lot of creepy people. There's a lot of people there's a lot of exploitation. And being as young as, you know, we were experiencing things when you were young as well. Like it's a wonder that we have come through, you know, all of that and been able to sort of be better people, you know. Like I really am grateful for all the life experiences I've had, like the good or the bad. I certainly can look back and take the good from those and see the worth in some of the mistakes and everything like that. Like being able to reflect back on my life in that way, I think has allowed me to see everything a little clearer and helped me to be the best version of myself. And then of course that extends, you know, to the band as well. Like you were saying, like we're the best version of who we've ever been. And I couldn't agree more. I think that like, that's where we're at right now. And being able to have this second chance, it's great because like we get to have that chance, almost a do-over.
Yeah, it is. But it is a do-over.
Yeah, but with the best version of who you could be. And that's
with all that amazing experience. I don't know what experiences had the biggest impact on you good and bad, but to make sense of them is important. All the bad experiences you could have had that you may not even have accounted for at the time when you guys were like, okay, I'm spent. I'm going to go home. I feel that implicitly. I want to know what it feels like to live a regular life.
Yeah.
And I want to be a regular person and I want to have a relationship with my life.
Yeah.
I want to be in a community. I want to go to the coffee shop, take my kids to school. And now I have teenagers, but I feel extremely grateful that I got to do that. And that I put that first. And then I also, over that period of time, got to make sense of the injuries I got when I went out into the world as a not fully formed young person, and then go through the craziness of a career in its first stage, which is probably different but similar to yours. At the point where I was like, I feel spent. I just want to I met this nice girl. I want to settle down and I want to see what that feels like. That's number one. I've said this a million times and it's still number one. I still feel like it's nice to have stuff. The music is not as important as.
Yeah.
It's just nice. Gives me a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
I feel unchained to any success.
Yeah.
And I can also start to unpack all the bad things that happen, like you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do what we want, when we want, that's it.
Yeah, taking your power back and being able to be afforded the opportunity to have the freedom to be able to choose as well and to say no to things, which,
for sure.
When, there's been periods in our career as well where it's like, you feel like you can't say no because it's like, well, the people,
lucky.
the man is telling you, you need it,
you're
you
lucky.
should. Yeah, exactly. This will be really good for you. You should do it because
someone else will do it if you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I'm like, okay, let him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. But that is taking back your power. It's so wonderful to be in that place now, to be able to, and I know that that's something that not everyone gets.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware of that and I'm grateful for the place that we're at now, but just being able to say no to something or be strategic and cautious about the choices that we're making. And then that way it's like when you make that choice, then you're all fucking in, right?
Yeah.
Full on. You don't have to be like, ugh, not another tour, where you're getting this much money or, you got to do this. It's like you take that power back and you have the choice to say yes or no.
Yeah. How quick do you get to those decisions now?
Oh, well, Kittie is definitely a democracy. So we got to, get in the group chat and be talking about everything. We're always weighing the pros and cons. The interesting thing about Kittie as well is that we do have a hand in everything. At present, we don't have a manager.
Right.
We fell back into doing all of these things, sort of one thing at a time, just snowballed into this, snowballed into a deal, snowballed into a new album. And we are still I'm the one that's doing the emailing and, we're all sort of taking on certain managerial aspects of things. So we're deep in the shit. But
I think that's great.
Yeah. But we are all discussing everything together. And sometimes we don't all agree, but it's like there's 4 of us. We take a vote. We weigh the pros and cons. Everybody sort of has their own vision and opinion, but ultimately, having those kinds of conversations it's important. It helps to sort of streamline, where you want to go, the direction you want to go in, who you want to be, how you want to present yourself, all those things. So we're pretty democratic. We're all just, throwing in our opinions and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, you are your best manager. Until you need a partner, right? And when that is. And so you have the experience to know as you take Kittie out into the world, you already done it all. You already know how to figure out how to outsource that because that's what everyone else is doing anyways.
Yeah.
And how to do that. You know what the meat of every conversation is. You know what the important points of making the album or doing this or doing that. You already have the experience. You don't need to be told things that you feel. You'll likely end up finding a partner that you feel mutual respect. And that's what I need. I can't be managed. I'm unmanageable.
Yeah, well, that's sometimes how I feel as well, and that's okay. I mean, like, we're very driven. We understand, like you said, like, you can be your own best manager because you know what you're all about better than anybody. You know, like, I've lived and breathed inside Kittie for 2/3 of my life. You know what I mean?
It came from your mind from the beginning, and you likely had a better instinct from the beginning. It's good partnership that allows us to sit at the table with someone that we can instinctively feel that they're not placating us, that they're just having an exchange of information coming from their best thought on something. And it's a think tank.
Yeah, for sure.
And in the best version of that is a bunch of people who actually are open and honest and conscientious with one another. And then we come to a decision that we all, like you said, it's a democratic kind of system where it's not just, well, I'm the artist and fuck that. But also, it's not, I'm the manager and I was with this person and that person and that person, so I know what's best. No, it's something in the middle. I'm probably, my instincts are probably going to be better on the manager than the art. Their instinct might be better on this or that. What I want is a partner who's going to just spell it out for me. If we do a deal, I want to think through the deal. I want a beginning, middle, and end. And in success, it looks like this. In failure, it looks like this. And like, let's figure out so that we've thought all the way through and we make a deal that's long-term thinking, success thinking, but also there's a fairness to it. And with good partners who believe in us. I'm not the guy also that's like, fuck the music industry at all. A great label partner is a great partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a great manager is a great manager. I just want artists to sit at the table and be open to the idea that like they should trust their instincts and they should find partners that they feel like they have a seat at the table and they're not just being kind of managed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think artists should be the ones driving the boat for sure.
Yeah.
We're definitely sort of getting to that point, I think, as a band. We definitely are like right now flying by the seat of our pants, kind of like but we have ambition, right?
Yeah.
There's more to this than just like put out music. And I think we are sort of getting to a point now where we're like, okay, we need to maybe take that on and have somebody that can sort of strategize and move things to the next level, which is something that we've never had before.
Right.
Ever. Like, my dad managed the band up until he passed in 2008. And we tried on a couple managers.
You said he passed away in 2008?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so like it was a very tight-knit family kind of thing going on. And my parents were very heavily involved, especially because we were so young. And then we tried on a couple managers after, and it just was never, it's just never the same, especially when you have that family, who else can you trust, right?
Yeah.
Like that deeply.
Yeah.
Not that it was like the feeling of like, oh, you could never replace him, because like a good manager is a good manager, but there was that extra connection there that
no one's going to care like that.
Yeah, exactly. And especially for us as young as we were, sort of, heading headfirst into the industry that young, my dad was there to protect us.
Yeah.
He made sure that all the seedy characters of the industry that, lurking in the shadows were definitely sort of kept at bay, and he vanquished those for us. His
Good dad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but still cool enough to be like, all right, you guys go and, drink with Pantera or whatever, have your fun.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He got it.
Yeah. So like we were still able to enjoy what it was to be, a touring band to a certain extent,
Right.
like a lot of people that we were, playing with and touring with, like twice as old and twice as drunk,
Right.
wild stuff.
Yeah, and metal is it's a tough genre. It's a really there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of unresolved childhood issues that get acted out in adulthood.
Yeah.
There's stuff you have no idea of as when you're a kid, and then you become an adult and you're like, oh, all those kids just have tons of shit to work out.
Yeah.
The therapy aspect of metal bands is they all need therapy.
Yeah.
And they use music as therapy, which is great.
Yeah.
But I am a big pusher of like, yo, go unpack your big bag of issues. It's not going to hurt your music.
Yeah.
It's actually going to make it better.
Yeah.
But metal's tough. It's a tough genre to come out, especially at the time, because now, like I said, the genres are less important. But at the time you guys came out, everything was genrefied.
Oh yeah, it was very genrefied, and like we were completely like pigeonholed and put in a box right away.
Yeah.
And we definitely got the shit kicked out of us. You know, the industry and journalists, the angles that people were sort of like playing for being 16-year-old girls in a man's world, a big scary man's world, you know. And yeah, like there's still a lot of that going on in there, like, you know.
What's that do to a kid's psyche when they put a record out and these adults are picking it apart and
It's, you know what,
bringing
it's,
up things you probably never even thought of and
Yeah.
criticizing you in ways you've never been criticized?
Yeah,
And
it's-
that's got to do something to your psyche.
absolutely. It was really hard. And I look back now and I still wonder how like we even survived and like came
Yeah.
out on the other side like kind of normal. Especially because I feel like, I mean, the internet now, it's just like so ingrained in our society. But back then it was like,
It was new.
yeah, it was new. It
was like a message
It
board.
was the Wild West. And yes,
Yeah.
the message board was where, you know, people would be saying horrible things or, you know, articles and, it even went so far as like death threats and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, for what? For just being a woman and occupying space that like people, you know, feel like it's reserved for men or whatever, you know, like it definitely did a number on all of us. And, you know, I've learned just don't read the comments. But
Yeah.
but when you're like 16 years old and you're like, someone is accusing you of not writing your own songs and not playing, like that's so hard. Like we'd overcome so much already just being there, just being defiant enough to take up that space. And then for, you know, when things start to get bigger and you get a little bit of the spotlight and then they're still calling you a fraud. Like
Yeah.
that's something that I think I've certainly carried it all throughout my life as well. I don't know if it's helped to sort of make me more humble, but I certainly downplay a lot of the things that we've accomplished. I have a hard time wrapping my head around that.
The accomplishments you've had, you have a hard time holding them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's weird. Like now that I'm older and I can sort of reflect back and see those sorts of things, like I'm kind of like, oh, you know, it's about time that people really recognize maybe the value of what we were doing that long ago. But at the same time, I'm also kind of still like, oh, like, you know, we're putting out a new album. Like, I hope people still like think we're cool. Like, I hope they like us still. Are we still relevant and all that stuff? You know, all the weird artist questions, you know?
That's crazy because from my perspective, you were always cool.
Well, thanks.
You were always relevant. It always mattered. And the only reason you're feeling the celebration of your return is because you returned.
Yeah.
Had you returned any other time, you'd have felt it as well.
Yeah, but I mean, that could be true.
So when I see you guys moving through the world, I just go, they've always been cool. That's just kind of how I see the band. It's always been cool. It's badass. I mean, it's hard to be all girls in a band and that genre at the time.
Yeah.
It's legendary shit.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You know?
I mean, I feel like, yeah, there's a part of me that has always, you know, sort of acknowledged and understood that. But I feel like now it's different because it's taken the industry and the world at large, like the time to sort of catch up to that idea as well.
Yeah.
That's just probably with, you know, with time and things changing, spaces being occupied by a more variety of people.
Yeah.
I've always known that what we were doing was magic and special, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like you were saying, like we couldn't have done the things that we did like when we were 15, 16 years old. Like if there wasn't something inherently in us that was like that magic, you know, there was a little bit of like right place, right time stuff for us as well. But yeah, I've always known that there was some sort of thread of importance in the things that we had done. But only now am I really feeling the impact of like of those things that we did, all the bullshit that we went through, everything, what we stood for, all of those things. But now in coming back, hearing things like legendary, it just doesn't compute.
Yeah.
It's so wild to me. Like I'm certainly here for it, but it's just such an interesting thing to watch in real time, like the world like catch up with those concepts. It's cool.
It's funny when our life and our art is Doritos to everyone else.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, which chips am I gonna eat today? Right? Like no one gives a fuck. I'll throw that bag of chips away.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part of being an artist is you can make something that's so disposable to everyone else.
Yeah.
It's so I could even just read what everyone else has decided this is and throw it away before I even listen to it.
Yeah.
Because that's the nature of popular culture.
Yeah. It's a fickle industry.
But there is something about legacy. There's something about art that can live forever.
Yeah. There is something really beautiful about that. Like for me, I am a person who's chosen like to not have children. I'm not going to be a mother, but there's some comfort that I find in the fact that like the music that I made will live on forever, like that's the legacy that I put forth to the world. And
what's your thought and feeling around having kids?
I don't know. I've never just seen myself as being a mother. Like as I get older, I think about like, oh, well, like what the fuck am I going to do? Who's going to fucking take care of me when I'm like 80 years old, whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, you have to live your life authentically. It's not ever something that I've thought that I would be good at or desired to do. But I kind of surround myself with the golden girls, Like I have a lot of friends that are also, that don't have children, and we're probably just going to be the golden girls and grow old together. And that's cool. That's totally cool.
I appreciate that. I feel very strongly that being a parent is sold as like suddenly you're like a holy person or you're like
it completes your life or whatever.
It is absolutely incredibly special when you have a family with the right person.
Yes.
I think that actually, and then you both want it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the only way to build a happy life because I do feel like it gets sold as like, you have to do this.
Yeah. Well, especially like as a woman, you hear like constantly, like that's your greatest joy in life, your greatest purpose in life is to, and then it becomes, there's all the politics that are involved in it, the politicization of it and all those things as well. And I think,
you're just like, that's not me.
Yeah. Bodily autonomy is what I'm all about, man. And I have the utmost respect for people that are parents that want to be parents. Like Ivy, our bass player, has 2 kids, 2 young children under the age of 5. I can't imagine the stress that she's, going through.
She's in the trenches.
Yes. Parenting at like probably what is like the worst time as like a child, like the, 2, 3, 4 years old. And then also navigating, doing all this stuff with the band, trying to parent and also, put yourself out there with the music side of things. Like I have the utmost respect for her for, being able to juggle all of the things.
It's a lot of work. There's no way you get out of parenting without having to make repairs, resolve something. And there's no perfect parents out there. There just isn't.
Yeah, of course.
And
We're
that's
only
what
human.
I think. That's what I think. And so I'm like absolutely on board with the idea that when I'm older, I'm gonna have to sit down with my kids and work out some shit that I did or said or whatever that made them feel a certain way, or like I want them to not think I'm God or that everything I think is right. I try to make a space like that where I'm like, look, I don't know if I'm right. I've never done this before, but I'm trying. That being said, I actually hear you and it makes sense to me. I'm like, oh, there's a person who actually knows what they want in life and they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's just, a decision that I've made. And like my partner, I've been with Ben for like 12 years now, and he's of the same mindset.
He feels
and so,
the same way.
Yeah. And so it's like, it's just an easy decision to make, and
that's cool.
I don't know, like I have been in relationships in the past where, you feel that kind of like pressure because you're like, well, you know that that person wants to have kids and wants to have a
Right.
family, wants to be dad. And it's like, but I'm not sure that that's what I want. And like, to me, that the idea of sort of like relenting to someone, you know, if it's not really what you want to do, like, if you agree, like, is that like a good compromise, or are you compromising your own ideals? You know, there's a lot of strange things kind of wrapped up in that, you know, and sometimes then maybe people are having kids for the wrong reason. It's like, you're bringing a life into this world, you know, it's not going to like save your marriage or make you happier.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a fix all. And I
No, it will
Yeah.
expose all of that.
Yeah.
100%. Just that's what I think about success.
Yeah.
It will expose all of it.
Yeah, you know, I agree with that. I've seen it firsthand. I'm sure you have as well, you know, like any of the hurt, any of the baggage that you have, that you carry already when you get into the music industry and, you know, people are telling you how great you are and like lots of drugs and all kinds of weird situations and everything. It's like it's going to peel back all of that, and
Drugs don't help it.
yeah, exactly. And it's going to amplify whatever, you know, whatever baggage you have, and it turns into a train wreck.
That's why I learned we have these pillars or categories in our life, verticals in our life. One of them is career. So if you have success in your career, great. Then there's personal, right? Am I a whole person? Have I unpacked those bags? Have I worked out the injuries? And have I even acknowledged their injuries? A lot of times we don't even do that. We're like,
Yeah.
it made me better. And you're like, yeah, well, you probably gave you some things, but it also wounded you and you're still wounded and you got to figure out what it is. So if my personal life is not thriving, intrapersonal relationships, you know, love life or friendships, if that's not thriving, is this category that's hugely successful, is it really successful?
Right.
If the other categories are all failing.
Yeah, that's kind of like an empty and sad existence, I would say. You know what I mean? Like, you're on the top of it's less like, you know, the cliche of like, you know, the rock star that's like on top of the world. They've got a #1 song, but they're just, you know, they're depressed. They are unhappy.
It's the cautionary tale or
Yeah.
it's almost like people expect to have that. The artists that are afraid to heal and not be a mess because they think their art's going to suffer. I'm like,
Yeah.
Is it worth making art if you're miserable?
Yeah, well, and
don't know.
that's tough, right? Because I feel like hurt people gravitate towards art because it's a way to express yourself. It's a way to, you know, a cathartic experience, or to put a message into something without, you know, saying it. And so that's tough because those are the kinds of people that gravitate towards art.
Yeah.
But, you know, that doesn't always, it's not always the greatest combination.
Yeah, it's a great vehicle for pain and suffering in one way to relieve yourself as an artist. But you do also have to actually work on it, I think.
Yeah.
Which we don't talk about. We talk about it more now than we used to. What do you think hurt you the most?
That's a tough one.
I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, well, you go first then.
I think it was the idea that the world would love me.
Yeah.
And when I got out there, I felt like they hated me. And it really did damage to me.
Yeah.
Because I did want to be. I came into it with a overwhelmingly positive idea of what it would be to connect with people through music. And I was met with everything else. I do think that's why I hold such a sacred respect for the fans that were there, because I did feel like there was something there that I needed. But even then every now and then you have a moment where they're mad at you for something. But in general, I think I had this idea that if I made it, I would go into the world and everyone would love me. And I was genuinely not trying to do anything but that. Actually, that was like my core mission.
Yeah.
Actually, was like this friendship idea, that because I didn't feel like I had a lot of friends growing up, and the big bad world was like just not nice.
Yeah. Tearing you to shreds. Well, yeah. Like, I mean, I definitely can identify with that. I feel like my motivations for being in the band were different.
More artistic?
yes and no. I've always felt like, I've had like there's something to prove, like Kittie has always sort of not played by the rules. When people would say things like, you can't do this, we would be like, well, fuck you, we absolutely can. And we're going to, and here we are doing it.
Yeah. You were badass. Like you saw, like from the beginning, I remember it was like you guys were just little badasses.
Yeah. I mean, like there was like, especially early on, there was like a little bit of a bratty kind of, slant to things. But for me, yeah, there was always a lot of like, well, I have something to prove. But I think that the thing that has hurt me the most would be being invalidated by people saying, well, there's no way that you could have done that. It makes you feel like, you're an imposter. It's like, oh, are you really worthy? Am I worthy of the success, the things that we've, had happened to us, the adulation. Yeah. All of our achievements, are we really worthy of that? Because there are people out there that don't believe that we could have accomplished this. And I don't know, like, I just feel like Kittie and like as a testament to like all of the things that you can achieve. Like no one should ever let you stand in the way of just doing what you want to do, expressing yourself the way that you want to, especially if you're young. People that tell you no, it's like you're only stifling the kind of greatness that everyone has the opportunity. And that's not just in music, that's in everything. If you like your dad tells you, oh, you can't do that, then you're going to believe that, and then you're never going to strive for those things. And personally, I feel like we have been lucky in having parents that were like, you do the thing. And it does sort of touch on some of the things that you were mentioning about your kids, and sort of like being like, I'm going to, allow them to, I can admit that I made mistakes. I'm going to sort of parent in a different way to fix the things that maybe were, done to me by my parents. Like my dad definitely did not have a great childhood, a great upbringing, was told by his parents that he wasn't allowed to do a lot of things. And so I feel like in a way that he was doing that, where he was like, you know what, you guys, you go out and tour the world. He was like, I always wanted to play drums. He let my sister play drums. They let us leave high school.
He was all in.
Yeah, for sure. He was like, I'm going to give you guys the opportunities that I never felt that I had.
Yeah.
But the experience of having people tell you that like, you're not good enough to, to have these things, to say that like, oh, there's no way that a 16-year-old girl could play the guitar like that, could write that. And it's coming from grown men. It's something I have carried with me.
Experts.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I've carried that with me for my entire life. Like maybe there's still a little bit of me that's like, oh, like, do I really know what I'm doing? Am I a fraud? But yeah, it's a really hard thing to, and destabilizing thing, to have heard over and over again throughout your career.
Yeah.
And as somebody that like,
Yeah.
I think we're a great band. We are very competent musicians. We've done a lot, and it's just like a weird thing, like to try to like tell someone that like, well, I just, you're just not good enough, or I don't believe that.
Honestly, it makes me love you guys.
Thank you.
that you even say that. Because there's no, it's not in question here.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not in question, I would say, in most places. If it is, it's some obscure guy somewhere who's living in a different time, and really irrelevant to the conversation of right now that we're having. So I love that. It really captures the humility of you guys. And there's a sensitivity there that I think is important for art. It's funny, like you guys are, you're good.
Thanks.
I mean, it's widely, it's cool. It's cool. Kittie's putting out a record. Great. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all have that. The thing I always tell myself when I have the imposter syndrome happening, because we all have that. Yes. And anyone who's growing, achieving, succeeding, any of that, we all question, can I do this? Is this really me? Is this, or did the stars line up? No. This is you. You're going forward and you're doing things. When I question myself, I just have to tell myself, I don't have to say, no, it is you. Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
I go, well, maybe, but let's see. And just if I can keep myself going forward and I go, maybe I may surprise myself. Maybe I'm not a fraud.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something there. Let's keep trying. Let's keep seeing. And then the road unfolds and you have, you're going to have continued successes of different kinds. And you'll make sense of them each different way. Cause I just think that the natural order of us is we grow. And I think this era of our careers is about something different. It's about that. It's about discovering something else.
Yeah.
It's less about anyone clapping for us. And it's more about making the art we want to make and seeing how we feel about it when we go out in the world.
Yeah.
And
this time around.
on our terms, you know? So I always like this because we're having similar experiences. And I talk to a lot of musicians
Yeah, of course.
about the different chapters of our careers.
Yeah.
They're super important.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we're in this like weird second chapter
Yeah.
where it feels like everything that we've done so far has just been like a win. And it's
Yeah.
like the wins that we never thought that we would have been able to achieve in
Yeah.
any other period in our career. And it's just so weird to see that happening and unfolding in real time, and being able to enjoy it and experience it as the people that we are now, like with the experience and the maturity and all of those things, sort of just heading headfirst into the unknown. But like, it's just, things is lining up.
What's the next big thing ahead for you?
Well, I mean, we're going to be putting out our first full album in, 13 years. I think our last album was 2011. So that's
Awesome.
like a big thing.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Even just putting out the first single was like, are they going to like us?
Yeah.
Ah. But yeah, so putting this album out is something that like I never would have thought would be happening 2-3 years ago. And it's just like, it's all happened so fast. So even that in and of itself is like a huge deal. A new album, a new, offering to the world. And we're hoping to be doing some headlining shows, which will be our first shows that we've headlined in 12 years as well.
Sick. When's that?
That should be July and August. We haven't
Great.
announced dates yet.
Yeah.
But that also was another really big thing for us, like something that we haven't done in a long time. And again, it's kind of the, I hope people show up. I'm sure they will.
They will.
Yeah. And like, other than that, like we're just sort of taking it, one day at a time. We've got festivals that are coming up and just sort of like enjoying the process and seeing what new opportunities come about.
Yeah, just enjoy it.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty of being where we are at now, is just like being able to sort of like take a breath and enjoy these things and see them for sort of what they really are and like build excitement. And yeah, it's like the whole world is different now and it feels good.
What part of Canada do you live in?
I live, it's sort of outside of Toronto, between Toronto and Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
southwestern Ontario.
And do you go to Detroit a lot?
Sometimes. I mean, we actually filmed a couple of videos recently there, just like because it's a great place. Lots of interesting spaces.
Canada's nice.
Yeah, isn't it?
So nice.
It's a wonderful place. And like, I think most Canadians are nice, right? How many
So nice.
Canadians do you know that are mean? Not many.
So I work in Vancouver
Oh, yeah. See?
6 weeks a year.
Okay.
I do Ink Master, the TV show.
Yep.
And so it's become a little bit of like a home away from home for that. That's a long enough time. I don't spend any 6 week period anywhere else. And it's just so nice.
Vancouver is a beautiful city.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
People are nice.
Yeah.
Super chill.
Yeah.
Food's good.
Yeah.
Nobody's really tripping
No, we
about
got good,
anything.
we got good vibes up in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all
Everyone
that legal
seems-
weed we got going on.
Yeah, legal weed and
Yeah.
I think legal mushrooms now too.
Yeah, we're
in
starting
Vancouver.
to dabble in a few of those things in certain places. I think it's decriminalized in some places. It's not legal yet. But the authorities are sort of turning a blind eye on like pop-up stores. So you can
Yeah.
go to places and buy mushrooms at a
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we don't.
They love rock music.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody just seems to like be cool. They're not too concerned with everyone else's life. Like it feels like when I'm in Vancouver, I just feel like I'm just I'm just in Vancouver with everybody else.
Yeah.
and everybody's friendly. It's just really, really nice.
Yeah, not all up in everybody else's business
Yeah,
and making it
they don't give a fuck.
political or whatever.
No,
we're
it's
just
like
doing
whatever.
our thing.
Do you?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good vibe.
Yeah, it is. Like where I live, I enjoy the fact that there's some anonymity to sort of, everybody just kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
I live in a place where no one gives a fuck who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's cool.
It's nice.
It certainly has helped me to get assimilated into normal society, from the break that we had and everything like that. And I don't know, like it must be difficult living in a place like LA where I'm going to turn the tables on you.
Yeah.
Like, what is that like to be in a place where, people are always got the binoculars out for celebrities and you and your wife is also a well-known person. Like, what's that like?
That's a good question. I think I've been here 20 years, but if you're not from here, it's always going to feel foreign to you. It's going to feel, when I go home to Maryland, it's a little bit more like Vancouver. It's a little bit more like everybody's just living their lives. And it's cool. Like, even in Vancouver, people are like, oh, hey, good
sure,
Charlotte, cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then it's just a detail that is cool. But that's it at best, You have honest exchanges. You're not getting any special treatment, but you're also not getting, because there's some places you can go if people know who you are, you'll either get special treatment or they're going to prove they don't care by treating you like shit.
Right. Well,
there's two different versions of it, which I actually understand both. And I go a lot, actually, a few times a year. And it's just like a warm, nice.
It's like your safe space,
town.
right?
Yeah. But they would also hold me accountable if I was an asshole.
Yeah, of course.
The same way I think they would in Vancouver. If I was an asshole, people would be like, oh, you're an asshole. So manners are a thing, right? Like we should just have manners.
Yeah.
Here, I think in LA, there's aspects of that exist here for sure in the community. So I'm in a community here. My kids are in school, in sports, and it feels like that. It's not what everyone makes it out to be.
There's good people everywhere. There's bad people everywhere. Good people you surround yourself with good people, you're going to have a good experience. You surround yourself with bad people, you're going to have a bad experience.
Yeah, me and my wife have had this argument in the early stages of parenting where I was like, we should move back home because that's my home. That's what I feel because this place is foreign to me and I'm terrified of what I don't understand or know. And her argument is, hun, there's just as much bad that could happen there in a different way. It's up to us, to stay connected to our kids, raise our kids, lead by example, all that, than it is to think that they're going to become a product of some idea that you've never even actually experienced. You just have an idea of this place. And that actually was a real, that's when I started to think differently. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm just thinking of this place as what I was told my whole life.
Right.
The big, bad, evil place.
Yeah.
No, there's kind of evil everywhere you go.
Absolutely there is, even up in Canada where everybody's happy.
There's a bunch of evil.
Yeah.
No, but there's always going to be an element that you have to learn how to navigate around and through and make sense of. So I think LA is great. Depending on your experience here is going to be who you hang out with.
Yeah, and I think that is also everywhere, right? It's like if you surround yourself with great people, you can make your home anywhere. It's like you're building your own town, You can make the best of any situation if you're surrounded by the right people. Having a support system is super, super important, you know, and surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded and supportive and truly care about, your well-being and, support you in anything that you do.
But I love Vancouver. I love Austin.
You're like, but I do still want to move there.
These are the cities I pitch all the time. I every other month I'm pitching Vancouver, Austin, Texas.
Yes, I agree with that as well.
Incredible.
That's a great place. Yeah.
I love it there. Nashville. I love Nashville. I go there a lot. Would love to live there, but when it comes down to it, you're like,
it's a not yet thing. Maybe you can retire in Nashville.
Yeah.
We I've played in Nashville many times, but recently had the experience of living there for 6 weeks, 5 weeks when we
Making the
recorded.
record?
When we made the album. I just never realized how small Nashville actually is. Like, it has like a reputation that precedes itself, right? It's like the birthplace of country and like the industry. It seems like everybody's sort of flocking there, but I just didn't realize how small it really was. It's a cute little,
small town.
Yeah, it's a cute little place. I really enjoyed my time there. I think there's so much history from music. Mostly when we were there, we did a lot of hiking. They got some great parks, just did old people shit,
Yeah.
Hiked and made a metal album.
Just made some metal music.
Yeah, you know.
Are you excited to be back out here in metal music?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that, we wouldn't be back at it if it wasn't exciting, if it wasn't like a challenge, if it wasn't something that we didn't think was important.
Yeah.
And ultimately it's like, if it's exciting and fun, like that's where we want to be. That's where we're at in our career. If it's not, we don't want a part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing.
Do you feel like OGs?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like all of that experience is like lens to the what's happening right now, like just being here, getting to talk to you, like just all of this stuff, we certainly have a lot of experience. We feel like veterans,
I'm so happy you're here.
Well, thank you.
It's awesome. I feel a lot of happiness and I'm excited about the record, but I just love when I see like an OG.
Yeah.
Like seeing someone else get back up and do it again and do it well is one good reason for me to say, I think I could do that too. Right?
Yeah. I mean, passion, artistry, there should be no expiration date on that. Right.
Yeah.
And, the older that we get, the more life experience we have, the more I think important and special it is.
And to realize you're not old, you're old enough to know.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There shouldn't be an expiration date on any of that. And there are, plenty of people in the world who have to start over.
Yeah.
In whatever aspect of their life and any age. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are people that go back to university or college at 80 years old because they're like, I never did it. You know what? There's no expiration date on that, on learning, on self-improvement, on creating, because it's what you are passionate for. It's what you need to do. At any age, we should be able to be like, yes, we can start over and we can thrive.
Everything you've done is not lost. Mm-hmm. It's not.
No.
And it wasn't for nothing. Mm-hmm. Like all the painful experiences, all the good experiences, all the time, even the time that I didn't do anything, it was not for nothing. That's the thing we can feel when we put the record on, when we listen to it, we can feel the experience. We can, whether we recognize it as that or not, there's something like inherently that we listen to a band, we see them on stage and they can just throw down. That's years of experience.
Yep.
I'm excited for this chapter of Kittie. I think it's gonna be your best one.
Well, I mean, that's the hope, right? You know, you can only hope that, you get a second chance like this and you come out swinging and people are just like, yes, we've had a lot of experiences, good and bad in the past. There's been a lot of lineup changes and all that stuff, but we try not to let those things define who we are, and we can create our own future and create this new era of Kittie. And I mean, I hope it's the best yet. Like personally, I feel like it is musically, artistically, we're at the best place that we could possibly be in. Like, our friendships are so strong. We're just all at a really good place in our lives, and we're ready to go all in.
I'm excited for the record.
Thank you. We're excited as well. It's good to be here.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you, of course.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Artist Friendly. If you really liked it, you can follow, like, subscribe to the show anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.
Bad times, I don't